Hey everybody, welcome back. Rick here with Game Trade Media. I have got JC and Megan from Asmodee today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, as always.
You've brought us some really cool stuff to look at.
Yes.
I see before me things I have not seen before.
Yes.
Me.
A very unique city building game.
Coming at you live from the future.
Yeah.
From the future?
Yes.
What?
2100.
Yes.
Oh, that's
year.
not too
The year
far.
21.
Yeah,
not too
we're-
far.
yeah.
So this is in our future, right?
Yeah,
We'll be alive.
of course. For what is it called? MegaCity Oceania?
MegaCity
Yeah.
Oceania.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to adjust you real quick. I apologize. Is that better?
No, thank you.
All right.
Good. Sweet.
Okay.
This is MegaCity Oceania
Okay.
from Hub Games. It's a city building game with some light dexterity elements to it. So what that means is we're going to be...
You said dexterity?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So we've got these very cool pieces out, right?
Right.
And you've started with a couple more than me. But
that
Jesse
closer?
started with none. Yes.
Yeah.
Jesse starts with none as
Yeah.
first player.
Good.
But
And what-
basically,
that's where-
basically what we're going to be doing is taking all these beautiful pieces and building super tall mega structures. So the idea is that in the far future, we've got all this tech. We can start building these skyscrapers out in the ocean. And so what we're going to be doing is building some pretty cool stuff. This is not a legal building, but at some point we'll be moving them into the city. So there's that element of
flotilla.
it. Yes, we're floating our buildings that we constructed. Hopefully they'll stay standing
Right.
when we move them into the city.
So on your turn, players we're building a whole city together.
Okay.
And on your turn, you can either take a contract, you can draw pieces. Contracts get you points at the end of the game.
Okay.
You can take pieces, or you can choose to move your building in once it's built.
Okay.
But the interesting thing about the game is it's not turn by turn, because during my turn, you're fiddling with your pieces trying to make it stack up and fulfill all
Yes.
the requirements.
Okay.
So there's really very little downtime in the game.
You're always building something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we?
Should we run through a
let's
turn?
do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've elected Jesse first player.
Perfect.
It's an honor.
Yes. So what he gets to choose to do, he can take a contract. He can take one of these zones, which is where you'll be building on. We each started with a park, which adds some cultural value to it later, but that's
okay.
not really a zone.
Okay.
You have to build these contracts. So, for instance, this is a public building, the purple. You have to build that in a public zone, a purple zone.
I see.
So those are two actions you can do. You can,
Right.
once you have a zone in your possession, you can flip it as an action.
Okay.
And there are little vents on it that show you, okay, what is it on the other side. So this one on one side is a residential zone.
Okay.
On one side it's a public zone. So whatever you need to fulfill one of these contracts, you can
Okay.
do. So you can either do two of those standard actions, or once you've built something, you can commit it to the city, the community on your turn, and that's your whole turn.
Okay.
If
Bed
it
or
falls, your turn is over.
Oh, boo.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in the future, we're all living on the ocean, and we have to build things on floating platforms. I hope you're ready.
Yes.
I'm prepared.
It's
All right,
coming soon.
Perfect. You seem
Yes.
like you would be prepared.
Yes.
So I have no pieces, so I probably should do that.
Yes.
So I'm going to take
You can either take one piece of a
Yep.
designated material that you want. There are three different kinds: glass, concrete, and steel. Or you can take three random pieces out of the bag.
And so the prototype game, they're plastic. In the actual game, it will be actually glass, metal, and stone.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm kidding.
It still sounds
That would make it
amazing.
very expensive. But
All right, I'm taking
they're
these.
still nice
Oh, you did
pieces.
three random pieces.
And you
Three
get
random.
to do two standard actions on your turn. So you get to do something
And then I'll
else as well.
probably take a contract. I don't know. Let's go with this one here. So they have different requirements. So
Right.
on this one here, which
real
way do
quick,
we
I'll
get?
show it right here.
Show that up
Yeah.
there. So with that one there, it's going to be, that has to be 30, at least 30 centimeters, we're calling it?
Millimeters.
30 millimeters.
Not
Sorry,
centimeters.
it's European. I'm
Yeah.
okay. 30 millimeters plus high. There has to be at least 5 different pieces in it.
Exactly 5.
And it has to look, there has to be no overhanging there.
Okay, so it has to look similar to this as well?
There just has to be 2 pieces, one piece held up by 2 other pieces.
Oh,
So, yes, an archway. This one specifies an archway.
Yes. So
Oh,
now
wow.
my turn is over because I did the 2 actions.
Yes.
So now it's going to go to Megan. So now I'm going to look at how I can do this. And
And he's building when it's not his active turn. So that
Okay.
kind of keeps the game moving. Public places are pretty cool. So I'm going to take a public zone. And once that comes out, You take one, I believe, from the bottom, so that you
Yeah.
can't predict what's going to happen.
Okay.
And then I'll take a contract. So, for instance, this one means I can't use steel. It has to be 45 millimeters or more, and it uses exactly 7 pieces.
Wow.
So, it's pretty tough, but it's worth 4 prestige points.
Okay.
Most points wins the game,
Okay.
as many games. So, I did my 2 actions.
All right. So I will take. I'm going to dig for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then I
Perfect.
would like to take one of
That
these.
zone. All right.
All right.
All right, and we put out another one.
So now it's back to yours truly.
Now it's back to Jesse.
All right. I'm going to take this because I need this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to take more pieces, I
More
think. Let's
pieces,
do
I
it.
think.
All right.
And so there are some particular building rules just on these zones, right? So they have 3, I believe they're called utility ports. There's little circles on them.
Okay.
They have to be covered in some way. Not completely, but there have to be pieces touching them.
Okay.
And you can't cover this colored vent unless the contract says you should.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
And then all pieces must touch at least one other piece. So,
All right, Megan,
but
you're
those
up.
are all the oh, that's me again. I
So-
need some pieces.
Go ahead and show what that looks like. So the red vent is what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
As far as you can't cover it unless a contract says so.
Correct.
And what were the 3 other things on it? I see they're like right here by my finger. There's a white.
Yes. So each of those circles, they're called utility ports. They
Okay.
have to be touching pieces in some way, or at least partially covered.
Okay, great.
Yes. So there's some building restrictions, but mostly you're free to be as creative as you want. So I just took a bunch more pieces because I need pieces.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's over to you.
So I'm going to take a contract. and take
Nice.
this
All
one.
right.
And what does this represent? This hole.
Yeah, so this means there has to be a courtyard on the ground level, basically. So if I were building that, it might look something like
that's the courtyard.
trying not to cover the vent.
Mhm.
Let's see if I can with the pieces I have. So
Okay.
if I try something like that, I'm kind of covering the vent, so I wouldn't
Right.
call that a legal move.
Okay.
But it just has to have some sort of courtyard in
Some
it.
sort of opening in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that. Yeah, you got it. You got
Yeah.
it. Similar, yeah.
Yeah, you're building it nicely.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Whose turn is it? Rick?
So it is. I've.
You took some pieces.
Okay.
No, I didn't
So-
take no pieces.
Oh, not
I
yet.
started to. So that's the other part. I'm
All
going to
right.
do.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm going to take 3 more pieces.
What do you got?
And
Okay.
then-
So now your turn's over.
Yep.
My turn begins, but you got time. You got plenty of stuff to build there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the other action you can take on your turn is you can slide it in. I'm ready to rock and roll here, so I'm going to contribute to the greater good. You take this little handy measuring tool we got here, and we're good. It's over 30. So then I'm going to slide that in like this here, and hope nothing falls down.
This is
And
the
it
tense
could-
part.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh. So everything you
Great.
slide into the city has to be connected to Central Park at first.
Okay.
And then just connected to at least one other piece. But everything has to stay within 3 tiles of Central Park.
Okay.
So you're not building these weird, what would you call
So I
scattered cities.
So I completed this, so I'm going to flip that
Mhm.
down here.
And he also gets to place one of his player cubes, so we know that was his. I'll let you
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes. That doesn't count. Ooh, that doesn't count as a piece, but it can contribute to the height
Yep.
if that were necessary. So
Okay.
you can put that
So
even
you put your player
on
cube
this
so
part.
you
Yep.
know it's me. And then I'm going to,
Well, yeah. So if you commit a building, that's your whole action.
that's the whole turn.
That's the whole
All
turn.
right, that's
and now
right.
I got to keep going. I need some more pieces for this building, so I'm going to take some random ones. Ooh.
And you have to be touching or covering up all 3 of those vents.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
those are your
utility
power
pole.
sources.
Utility. Oh my.
So if you don't have those
See.
connected, you have no power.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
That makes for a very and you can't have any overlap or overhang off of your
Nope.
flotilla.
No.
No overhang.
Oh.
That
The
wouldn't end well
worst.
for anyone.
There are zoning laws
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can't break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mean. Such a mean thing.
Yeah.
I've always
Yeah,
had
For
this.
sure.
It gets meaner when you have to put it in the put it in the middle.
Yeah.
I've always had issue with the
1, 2, 3.
utility company anyway.
Yeah. As you do.
Yeah. But this is the fun of the game, is just
Yeah.
building
Oh,
these very
absolutely.
beautiful structures. Jesse already has one. I'm working very hard on my civic building.
I probably should not have taken the courtyard.
No. Are you having trouble
It's
with
an
the
extra
courtyard?
challenge. So that's the basic turn structure, and what you're doing in between
Yeah.
turns is you're building
Okay.
and hopefully getting to that point. How it will work here is we'll have a marker to show which is the tallest building, and at the end of the game, whoever does have the tallest will get extra points. So right now I have the tallest. If you go over me, you do it, and then at the end of the game, whoever has that marker, so
Okay.
that's an extra added bonus there.
Yep.
We play until, what's the end game condition?
The end game condition is when you've run out of standard contracts.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And there's a certain amount for, like, if there's 3-player,
Yep.
4-player.
Yes.
So
I
it-
believe for 3 players it's 12. It's
Yep.
more for 4. It's fewer for 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, so it
Um,
accounts for that.
Yeah, and even as you're going along building buildings, every time you surpass and become the highest building, you get another prestige point.
Yeah.
So there are lots
Oh.
of different ways to get points. Building higher stuff, completing contracts. You can put monuments in parks at certain points. That
Okay.
gets you more points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just a lot to do. You're never going to have the same city twice,
I can see that.
It's beautiful, I think.
And there's different like super contracts, and then there's prestige points that add up in different ways with like awards and things. So
Right.
this is like the basic stuff we went over, but it's really a very interesting. And then at the end, you've built something together, so it looks really cool.
Right.
All of the pictures everybody's taken is
Yeah, I can
Instagram
do
famous.
And then you can knock it down
Yeah,
together
and then
too.
you can knock it
and
down.
that's pretty fun. Yeah, try it.
And then okay, that does not look good. All right.
I was nervous
It
about
was
the
wobbling.
tablecloth. I've played this on a table
Yeah,
that's really
yeah,
smooth, and there
yeah.
were no problems.
Okay. There we
Okay.
go.
All right. You
So
gotta
I
put your player
believe
clue.
you're taller than me, just like in real life. So then now you put your cube on there, and then we'd give you the award. So
Yeah.
you got that. So yeah, and then
Alright.
you get a point, and then play
Okay.
continues until all the contracts are
I
done.
want to see if this would
oh, no.
stand. I know there's that piece in the middle that I'm kind of worried about.
You got it, I believe.
Yep. And there it is.
Yeah, rocking.
There it is.
All right.
love
There it is.
So yeah, it's another beautifully creative game from Hub Games that they're known for.
Right.
All of their stuff is super high quality and
Yeah.
gets people around the table interacting and thinking.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we absolutely love this, and it'll be out later this year. When exactly?
Q3.
Q3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Q3,
yeah.
And do you have a price point of what this is going to be landing?
$54.99.
What?
I know.
Yeah.
And
That's
these
nice.
are just the prototype
Yeah,
components.
they are.
So
That's
they'll
nice.
be even nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really encourages abstract thinking, obviously.
Yeah.
'cause Those, I would live there,
Yeah.
and
I would definitely live
it'd be
there.
amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd live there.
Yeah, this one
I
right here is
might-
just the worst.
Maybe,
It's a shopping
but
mall.
yeah,
Live
yeah,
over.
okay, all right,
Live
yeah.
over there. Away from this, maybe.